research was inspired initially by a field placement site that I had at the Women's Resource Center in Virginia. It was a center for survivors of domestic violence and their children, where they had a shelter, a crisis hotline, and a children's program for survivors to come to and receive resources after victimization.
What really drew me to the field was certainly valuing the importance of mental health, as I saw friends and family members experiencing their own need for mental health care and substance use treatment early on in life. And I did an internship in high school, actually, working for a community mental health center in Indiana, and was able to see just sort of the important work that happens in that field.
The experience I had in college convinced me that I wanted to make a difference in the community, but it was really the experience I had at GSPP that convinced me I wanted to work with offenders. As a first-year graduate student, I looked at all of the different opportunities there were in the field placement packet, and the one that really jumped out at me was with Denver Amend, working with men who'd been convicted of a domestic violence offense.
I think the turning point for me and why I chose this work started in my childhood. I was the ninth of 10 children. I grew up in Chicago in a family with very few financial resources during the 1960s. So very turbulent times with race riots, Martin Luther King and the marches, and watching the powerful impact of disempowered people and the resilience of people, the quiet strength, and watching the marchers move forward and getting what they rightfully deserved was really powerful for me.
I hope that the outreach that I've done is getting the community more informed of these issues, whether it's issues related to violence, issues related to marginalization of certain communities. I'm hoping that just providing this education on some of the areas that the broad public isn't knowledgeable about, that it is facilitating some change. At minimum, it's facilitating some type of dialogue to start creating change.
So I hope that the work that I'm doing now is really allowing more people to access mental health care and substance use treatment, particularly people who have had less access to those resources in the past. I think the first thing that needs to happen, which I think is already starting to happen, is just talking about mental health and substance use needs in the community, and being able to talk freely about the struggles that so many people face in our communities.
I think for too long, treatment has really been focused by legislators, often not well enough informed by treatment outcomes. And I think that's improving, and I'm glad that, for example, Department of Corrections is more and more driven by other people who graduated from, for example, the Masters in Forensic Psychology program, and they are directing treatments to be more evidence-based. I think we still can do better. I still think we have some traditions in corrections that direct people towards treatments that are not all that effective.
I would just encourage everyone to get outside of your comfort zone, ask questions, jump into new opportunities. You often find that the more that you expose yourself to things outside of your sort of current knowledge and space, that growth happens pretty rapidly by saying yes to opportunities that come about.
I would like for people to kind of think about their subfield in psychology, think about what they're passionate about, and figure out how to kind of craft that into an area of advocacy. So whether it's sports psychology or forensic psychology, whatever your interest is, how can you impact the community that you're serving? And really providing this psychological knowledge that you're gaining to facilitate some type of change in your world.
I've always said working with offenders, it feels almost like I'm cheating because it's too much fun. It's work I enjoy. And I would say find things you enjoy so that when you go to work, it doesn't feel like a chore.
I think my advice for other people would be to be genuine and to be kind. My mom taught me it takes less than 60 seconds to be kind to someone, And I think it's really true. I think if we focus on treating each other well and putting our brains together to make positive things happen, we can